we live? Are we live?
We are live.
We're live. Oh my God, we're live. Oh my God, we live?
We are live.
Woo!
Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
We've got South Carolina, North Carolina, Washington, California,
Houston,
Indiana,
Columbus,
Ohio, Virginia, Utah,
Nebraska,
all,
Seattle.
all in the house.
Woo!
So
we've got many of the contiguous United States represented, right, Sean?
We do.
We have a lot of questions to go through.
We have so many questions.
First of all, hi, we're the Book Doctors.
We are the Book Doctors. I'm Ariel.
Hi, I'm David. This is Ariel.
We are the co-creators of America's Next Great Author, as many of you know.
Book Doctors also.
And we have been getting lots of great questions.
Yes.
And we wanted to just have an event where everybody, first of all, can start to get to know each other through this wonderful chat, which our amazing producer, Christy Tuck Austin is moderating.
Woo!
So you can tag her with any questions that you have as we go along.
And give Christy some love if you feel like it, because none of this would happen.
That is true.
Without her.
That is absolutely
true. We're going to
true.
give you some love. We love you, Christy. Love you.
So David is going to get going with some housekeeping. Oh, someone already loves Christy. I am going to close this door behind David because if you guys hear, there's the dog. I was just about to say, if you hear a bark, it is because Mo cannot leave our sides. So he has to be,
or it's my stomach rumbling.
So I'm going to close the door so that he is not distracted.
We don't want to distract our dog. Otherwise, the whole thing goes kablooey.
That is very true.
Okay, so we're going to get to as many of these questions as we possibly can. But I just want to tell you guys something first about this recording and everything. Okay. In fact, a recording will be available of this. To view the recording, use the same URL using to watch live or visit our YouTube channel. That's the Book Doctors YouTube channel. Is that correct?
This is
the Great America.
The America. Do you know the name of our show?
Yeah. Are America's Great Next Great Author. Of course I do. No, I don't. What? What is it called again? So we got to make sure everybody knows what this is.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so chat box on the right here, where everyone's chatting, is for chatting, asking questions. You sign up to YouTube, sign in to YouTube to chat. You can also use a Google account to log the heck in. All right, some of you sent us questions in advance. We'll be answering those questions, plus, as a bonus, new questions you might have over in this chatty section. The Chatty Cathy section. Oh dear, our lights just went on.
It's okay.
Are we okay?
Mm-hmm.
How do I look though?
Wonderful.
I never knew which was my good side. The live chat should be archived. But if you want to be safe, and it's important to be safe in this day and age, copy any later information you would like to retain for later. If the video freezes, that didn't really freeze. I was just pretending to freeze.
Oh, that's fun.
Try refreshing your browser. Just refresh it. Problem continues. Close out the application and open it up again. If you have any technical problems, email Christy, the aforementioned, at info, I-N-F-O, at America's Next Great Author, all one word, .com. Subscribe to the channel for show updates, application information, and of course, writing advice and getting pumped up.
Yeah. And I'll just add to that, in addition to subscribing to the channel, if you go to our website and you sign up for our newsletter, we send a newsletter every week with all kinds of information in it. So if you're not signed up for that, I suggest doing that because that's where you get the first line of information.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone wrote something funny in the chat. There's a Julia Roberts here, and someone asked if that's Julia Roberts from LA submitting her book. Okay. I'm guessing it is.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Definitely. Okay. So the first thing I want to say, I'm going to be like the school teacher right now. The majority of questions that people ask are in the FAQ on our website. So
They have been answered.
a lot of these questions have been answered, or in the online audition terms and conditions, which you will see on our website and you will see in the submittable application. So please, we spent so much time crafting beautifully this FAQ to answer people's questions. So we're going to double answer some questions, but some questions that it's just clearly already there, we are not going to answer tonight because I'm sure some people have already read them and we don't want to bore anybody.
No, we don't.
So that's number one. The second thing is we're not going to answer questions that are only related to one person. So some people asked a question about their particular subject matter or what have you. We will answer those individually. You can email us, and Christy can put in the email address. Oh, she already did, info@americasnextgreatauthor.com. But we're not going to answer those here. Okay, so the last thing before we dive into these questions is we are going to talk for a moment about the difference between the pilot and the show.
Yes.
This is very confusing.
Yes.
It's confusing to even people who know a lot about this.
Yes.
So a pilot for a reality show is essentially a proof of concept that you take to a network to show them a little bit of the taste of what your show is going to be like.
If I may, with a metaphor.
Yeah.
You know when you go to the grocery store and there's a little bit of cheese with a toothpick in it? That's essentially, it's not the whole thing of cheese, but it's, you go, oh my God, I have to have a big block of that cheese. That metaphorically is what this is.
Yes.
It's not going to actually be episode 1 of the series.
It won't.
We will have a whole other situation for episode 1 through 8 or 10 or however many we make.
Yes. But this is the proof of concept. So when we got a lot of questions about, how much time do I have to take off from my job to be part of the show? That all happens after we sell this to a network. And the reason that we have chosen to do things the way we have is usually if you have an idea for a reality show, you go to a production company that specializes in reality shows. So you would go to, what's his name, who hosted American Idol?
Simon Cowell.
Okay, I was going to say the other guy who was the host.
Ryan Seacrest.
Ryan Seacrest. So either one, though, either one's fine. You would go to either of their production companies. You say, I have a reality TV show about writers. And they would say, okay, great idea. We'll buy that from you. And we'll make a reality series that's a cookie cutter show like the rest of our shows. And we don't care what your mission was because we just want to make money off the show. So we're going to have people be mean to each other and we're going to tell you how stupid you are.
And you guys don't get anywhere near the thing, most likely.
Right. So we did not want to do that.
No.
We started the show with Kwame Alexander and Grant Faulkner.
From National Novel Writing Month and from being a best-selling author, Kwame.
And publisher.
Many books.
Yep. And we created the show because we wanted to give more people an opportunity to get published. We are living in a world where we are down to 4 major publishers, about to be 3, and they are far more concerned with how many Twitter followers you have or what TV show or you're on.
Or how many people are active on your brand on wherever, social media.
And we want to show people that there are great authors and great books out there.
And if you know us, the Book Doctors, we've been doing this for over 15 years, traveling all over, literally America, from rural Alaska to Miami Beach, from Kauai to Cape Cod, and all in the middle, from Deadwood to Nebraska, Omaha. And we have seen there are so many great authors out there who just don't know people in New York, who haven't been to the fanciest schools, who aren't connected like that, or who work crazy jobs to support their family. And, they don't have the resources or the time to get their stories out into the world, and they don't get a seat at the table. And we've always been very driven to try to do that.
So the pilot is not the show.
No.
No one has to quit their job.
No, it's 2 days. It's actually
it's really one day. One day.
It's October 30th.
And then the winner of the Pitchapalooza that we will be filming will be asked to stay the next day. So that is all that is required for
in Newark, New Jersey.
This pilot.
Yes.
Okay. With that said, we're going to start answering questions.
Yes, we are. Okay. There's been a lot of people asking variations of this question. Most reality television shows, they end up creating melodrama and are toxic and have people attacking each other, and the hosts attack them, and they are demeaned, humiliated, and made to look like idiots. That is the absolutely opposite of what we do. If you've ever seen a Pitchapalooza, and we've done 500 of them, I, in every single one, say, you will be treated in a kind and gentle way. No one's going to ask you if you got your hair cut in a Cuisinart. We're going to be nice to you. We're going to raise you up, and we're going to support you. And then we're going to encourage everyone else. We're going to pick people who do that.
And I'm going to skip a little bit ahead because people had some question about what happens in the second part of the show, which is not part of the pilot because we're not doing that now. But when we put people in a house together, there's going to be approximately 6 people in a house, and they're going to take 30 days to write a book during that time. When we get the actual show, that is what will happen. And those 6 people will be creating community together.
And when we say they're going to write a book, they're going to write 50,000 words. It's based on National Novel Writing Month, which is one of our partners. And every November, millions of people all over the world, I've done it myself, write 50,000 words in a month. And their motto has always been, no plot, no problem.
Yes.
This is not going to be a finished book that will be ready to be published. It will be a first draft. And if you've ever written anything of this length, you know that writing the first draft is the most difficult thing to do. It's like building the frame and structure of a house. Once that's up, then you can start figuring out the walls, and you can figure out the ceilings. And then once you get all that stuff, you figure out the windows, and then you get down to the doors, and you know, and then you make yourself a house. But that first big push is that month that people are going to be in the house, and we'll have mentors who are probably an idol of yours, a writer, who will come and help you and answer all your questions and work with you in a deep way to cover every part of your book.
And have I made it clear that that is not what you are submitting for right now? That the pilot
1 day.
1 day, that will not, you're not writing a book.
No.
That's why we've asked you for the first 10 pages of a book you've already written, not the book that you would be writing once the series is bought.
Yeah.
Okay. Just give me some confirmation in the chat that that people understand that.
Pilot 1 day. The series, eventually you'll be there in 30 days, and it'll take, you'll have 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And you'll be paid accordingly, just in case you're wondering.
Lisa gets it. Thank you. All right. Everybody's getting it. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to run through a few questions very quickly. Is it a problem if the book pitched is mostly written? No, because as we just said, for the pilot, you're not doing it, you're not writing a book in 30 days. And then would it need to be started over from scratch for the competition itself? The competition is a whole other thing. And once we sell the show, we will be doing a new submission period. So that is not for the pilot.
May I just say one other thing?
You may.
This submission period will consist of 4 Pitchapaloozas that are live at different places around America.
Yep.
However, this has come up in the questions. There will be 2 slots. This is in the 10-episode show. 2 slots, wild cards that people can submit online for. So if you live in the middle of nowhere and you don't have resources to get to one of the Pitchapaloozas, you can send us your stuff. We'll do the whole thing online, and then you will be flown to wherever. If you make the cut, then you'll be flown in for the next
For the show.
For the show, not the pilot.
Okay. All right. We're going to get to the pilot and the travel situation momentarily. So everybody hold up on that. What will these tryouts be like? So if you are one of the 100 semifinalists who are picked
for the pilot
to come to Newark, it is going to be both a fun, educational, entertaining, and sometimes boring day.
And grueling, perhaps. There might be some gruel involved. Not to eat, but it might be grueling.
To be totally transparent, when you are filming an event like this, you don't just go through the event as if it's a live show. It usually takes us an hour and a half. Let's say someone fumbles a line, or let's say there was a noise in the background because someone dropped their phone or what have you. You have to film it all over again. So there's a lot of stop and start, but we are also seeing this day almost as a one-day writers conference in and of itself. Yes. You're going to have the opportunity to be with these incredible judges, with Kwame, with us, all of whom combined probably have a couple centuries worth of publishing experience. And we're going to be using that experience to give people writing exercises while there's downtime, and get to know you exercises, all this kind of stuff. And there's going to be community building as well. And yeah.
You also may be interviewed. We're having a Pitchapalooza in a big area, and then we're having different rooms where people will be interviewed. So you might pitch and then be taken right into the interview room where you'll be asked about your experience.
Yeah.
You may be interviewed outside if you're on a line.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that goes on from the time you show up to the time you leave.
Yeah. So that is that's going to be a kind of overview of the day.
And of course, you also get to watch everybody pitch and learn from that, which is a tremendously educational experience if you've ever seen a Pitchapalooza.
Okay, so will pilot participants be considered for season 1? We don't know what's going to happen with season 1, but we know that we're not going to say that people cannot be part of season 1 if they participated in the pilot. If you participated in the pilot or submitted for the pilot, you are absolutely welcome to submit for season 1. We just don't know how that submission is going to happen, because we do not have, we haven't figured out yet which network the show will be on.
We haven't chosen our partner.
We haven't chosen our partner. Okay. And yes, so the people will be eligible for future seasons. Are there any commitments after the pilot is done? No. That's it. What effects does being on the show have with any projects we do outside of the show, such as leather writing and even podcasting. That you own your book. You're free to do whatever you want with your book. The only thing that that is in the participant agreement, which you will see when you go to the submittable page, is that you can't go and talk about what happened in the show. And it's number 20. You can go and read. I'm not going to take people's time now, but until yeah. So anybody can go and read that, number 20 in the participant agreement.
So are you saying that if in fact you let's say you come and you pitch or you just submit, that you can't then go on a podcast and talk about our show?
That it is, yes, that for yes, until we're done with the selling of the show, etc., that this, that we're in a pod together.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here's a big one. Lots of people want to know this. How can I be sure that I am not giving away my ideas?
Yes.
Or someone's going to steal it, all of that kind of stuff.
First of all, we combined have been in the publishing business for over 300 years.
Over 300.
And we have never seen someone's book stolen. Someone tried to steal my book, Chicken, but they couldn't even really do that.
They didn't steal your book, they
plagiarized it. Well, that's a kind of theft,
I guess.
Yeah. Listen, no one can write your book like you can write your book. And people have been asking us this question just as book doctors, literally since the time we started. If I submit my work to the world, isn't it going to be stolen? No, it isn't. And there are ways of protecting your work if you want to. You can send something to the Writers Guild. You can register your work. You can do the poor person's register, which is you mail it to yourself so you have proof. But in fact, you, like if you were going to a publisher, you still own your book. You own the intellectual property of your book. Yeah. And you can, do with it what you will. But once you enter into agreement with us, as I understand it, we have the right then, if we move forward with it, to sell that book. Is that correct?
No, not for the pilot.
No, not for the pilot.
Yeah. So you own your book.
Yeah.
Period. That's it. Period. For the pilot, there is nothing to do with your book whatsoever.
Yeah.
The only thing that we have the right to do is to use the video that you made and to use the pitch that you write in the pilot and in promotional pieces. And that's it. You own your book. Now, in terms of the stealing thing, I just want to say one more thing. Of course, sure, someone could steal your book. It is possible. But guess what? Guess what is the single best way not to get your book published?
Don't show it to anybody.
Don't show it to anyone. That is the single best way.
And no one will steal it because no one will ever see it.
So we understand people feel nervous about it, but our experience of putting our own work, David has written 16 books. I've written 10 books. We had to tell lots of people, test the idea on lots of people for every single one of these books before we ever submitted it. Then we submit to agents and publishers. Along the way, you would think, oh, one of those books could have been stolen, but it was not. Okay. So then there are a number of questions about feeling the nerves
yes.
of applying.
Sure. Yes. Oftentimes the anticipation of something is worse than the thing itself. We have a daughter who goes through this all the time, gets so anxious about doing something, and then the thing itself is like, how was it? That was fun. That was fun. Wow, you were anguishing about it. Oh, I know. So there's that. That's human nature. The anticipation is often worse than the thing itself. This whole thing is to make you better equipped to become a successfully published author. And part of doing that is putting yourself out into the world. One thing that I advocate is lots of rehearsal. Just rehearse the heck out of your pitch and give it to all your friends. Do it over and over and over again. I recently had to pitch to a major network. I rehearsed that thing until I literally could say it in my sleep.
I would walk around the house and
like,
David would be whispering, and I would say,
what are you doing?
What's going on? He's like, no, I'm just rehearsing.
So I'm a huge advocate of preparation, being really super well prepared, like it's second nature for you, so that when the time does come, because it's easy doing it in your living room, but then when you're under the pressure of it, if you've done it enough times, it gets right into your DNA, into your head, so that it comes out quite naturally and you can be yourself.
And rehearsing to the dog is a wonderful idea.
It's the best.
Because they always like it.
And they listen. And you get licks afterwards, probably.
Yeah. Okay. So someone asked, will submitting materials work against you for getting an agent or a publisher? Absolutely not. Anything that you can say that you've done that, if you are a semifinalist for the pilot for the show, that's something you can put in your query letter that will help you. It shows you've already been through some gatekeeper and they have said, wow, we really like your work.
And ultimately doing this is going to make you better at this. It's going to make you more practiced at it.
Yeah.
So that when you go to the next person, you will have this under your belt.
Yep. Okay. Someone said, I would love to participate, but I'm not sure if I'm ready yet. And I have no college degree or experience writing, just a love of books and writing. You are just the kind of person that we are looking for the show. We want to demonstrate that you don't need an MFA or you don't need, a fancy degree or anything to be a wonderful writer. And we could spend probably a day going through all the amazing writers who did not have educations and yet who, wrote the most amazing books.
When I wrote my first book, I literally didn't know anyone in the publishing business. I was living in Venice Beach. I would walk up and down the boardwalk. Would you please read my book? Just to get somebody to read it. And Kwame, he didn't know anybody. He started out like at
farmers markets.
Farmers markets. That's what the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Selling this book at them.
Churches.
I see you got your rutabaga. Would you like a book?
Yeah. So, okay. This is a question about category where the person said, can I submit anything for YA or adults, romance, Western, sci-fi, anything? Or does it need to be mainstream or literary fiction? Any category of fiction we accept. It can be genre, it can be literary, it doesn't matter. And we also accept memoir. And YA, any category of YA.
But it has to be novel length. And generally speaking, a novel is at least 50,000 words. But a little bit less than that is novella. But
I'm going to just contradict my wonderful and talented husband. You just need 10 pages. We don't care how long your book is. So for the pilot, it doesn't matter. No. You get your book. We just need the 10 pages to see the quality of your writing, and that is it. Okay. I'm going to let you read that first question.
Are you open to applications from old people? I'm going to say yes to that. Now, I don't know exactly what an old person is. I'm 65. I do get Medicare.
Yes.
I'm very happy
Thankfully.
about that.
Yeah.
So, are you over 50? Are you, like, my daughter's 14. Anyone over about 24 is an old person to her, and they are all welcome. We once had a guy at Pitchapalooza who was 85 years old. He was in the Second World War.
Remember, we also had the guy who was in his 90s who was the
Yes.
bat boy for Satchel
Yes,
Paige.
Satchel Paige.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love every age. We love kids too, but we can't do that for the pilot. But we love, and by the way, we are not actively against people with MFAs in any way. If you have an MFA, that's great. We just don't want to exclude people who don't.
Right.
And we do allow novels in verse.
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't matter if your book is refined or not. What matters is that your first 10 pages show off your writing. That's what matters. You can only apply with one book. That's it. You can't send in multiple pitches for multiple books, just one book.
So pick the best one.
Yeah. Okay. This is a really good question that I personally really like, and we do an online Pitchapalooza every year with NaNoWriMo, where people ask this question as well, which is that I feel like I'm just going to send this in and no one is going to look at it. You want to take that one?
All right. So already the submissions have been pouring in. I read personally every single one of them. She reads personally
every single one of them.
And we discuss them.
And the rest of our team, everybody is reading and watching every single one of them.
Book writing nerds. We're just like, did you see that one? What about them? We deconstruct the thing just for fun.
Yeah.
Okay, it's sick.
You don't know how excited we get when we get a notification that a new pitch has come in. Yeah.
And when we get a great pitch, ooh, it's like, whoa, like your brain starts to start firing. Your heart starts pounding. Like, did you see the one that just came in? I know, I saw it. It was so good.
Yeah.
It just makes us so happy.
Yeah. So no one is going to be, this is not like, when people show up for American Idol or whatever, and there's, I don't know how many thousands of people or what have you, and you never get seen or heard. That is not happening here. No. We are really taking care and joy.
Yeah, we do. We have.
Okay. 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 Someone asks, I'm not sure if you are looking for white authors. We are looking for any kind of author, no matter what your background, etc. You may be asking that because on our website, you may have seen not that many white faces. And we did that purposefully because when you go to most publishing sites, all you see are white faces. And we wanted to show that we were doing something different, that we welcome your pitch if you are white, and we also welcome your pitch no matter what else, what religion, what race, what age, anything. All our doors are open.
We are equal opportunity.
Yes. Okay. Will the winner of the pilot be automatically brought back for season 1 if the show gets picked up? We don't know. That's the honest answer. We don't know yet what will happen.
Yeah. What's it like when you review an application? What do you look at first? Very good question. First thing I look at is the video. I want to see how the person presents themselves. I want to see the look in their eye. I want to see if they have passion. I want to see if they're funny or if they're moving, what their story is, where they're filming themselves. Um, I want to see a spark. And I want to be engaged in a story where I go, oh my God, what happens next? I have to know.
And sometimes it's little details like, you know, some people have dressed up in their pitches in an intriguing way. Some people have their dog by
Some
their
people have a
side.
dog, yes.
So there's just little things that reveal something about the person, and that's always really helpful because we get in this 75 seconds we get a little bit of a portrait, and that's wonderful. Um, Does the book need to be completely edited and ready for publication? No,
Not for the pilot, no.
just 10 pages. That's it. Okay. Is the video pitch just a live version of the 250 word pitch?
I'm gonna have to say yes to that.
You can switch it up if you want, but there has to be enough of an overlay there that we're getting the same information. But if you're making it more theatrical in some way, and that means you have to drop a couple words or whatever, that's fine.
For instance, like when we do our pitch, we do it together in one voice,
Yes, we do.
but you wouldn't see that on the page.
No, that's correct. Okay. So can you submit a video that has been edited together using different clips? And the answer is yes.
Sure.
But you have to make sure that the video doesn't infringe or violate intellectual property rights or other rights of any person or entity. So you can't use someone else's music or video clips without permission.
You can't cut in a slice of Blade Runner, for instance.
Correct.
I'd like to do that in a pitch, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
In my bio, should I share facts about myself that are relevant to my book subject matter?
I'm sorry, before we move on here.
Yeah.
It is super important that we see you. Yeah, you can put a bunch of images into your pitch, but we need to see this, the moneymaker. Like, we want to see somebody who's going to be on a reality television show. So we have had some pitches that were all sliced together images where you hardly got to see the person. And I don't think that does anyone a service.
Correct.
Sorry, go ahead.
Should I share facts about myself that are relevant to my book subject
Totally.
matter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're writing a book about, a medical drama and you're an ER nurse, by all means, please let us know that.
Yep. Okay. All right. Now we're going to get to the logistics for the pilot.
Yeah.
So, as we explained, we did not go to a production company and sell this idea. We have raised the money and invested our own money in making this pilot. And unfortunately, we do not have the budget to fly people in to Newark, New Jersey. Now, we purposely chose a city that for at least a wide swath around us goes from extremely affordable to a few dollars to get there to relatively inexpensive by train or car. But of course, many of you are very far away from Newark, New Jersey, and it will require a larger chunk of change to get there,
And
time, and to stay over. Right now, we are in negotiations with a hotel that is right around the corner to get an affordable rate at a very nice place to stay. So
where
that
you can walk, literally.
where you can walk to
location.
Yeah, and the location is within walking distance of Amtrak, New Jersey Transit, and it's about 10 to 15 minutes away from Newark Airport. You can get there you can get from Newark Airport to Newark Penn Station
Yeah.
by train
Yeah.
as well. So you don't even have to rent a car or anything. And we are just a very short walk from Newark Penn Station to the venue. We will be putting out a travel fact sheet
Yeah.
shortly. We're in the final negotiations, and we will be giving the location information soon. We are in the final throes of
But
this.
somebody asked, I'm a little leery about putting out all this money to fly
Yes.
there when
Yes.
I might not be guaranteed an opportunity to pitch. And you
Yep.
know what? That
That's
is
very
a
legitimate.
completely legit concern.
It is.
I get that. Now, I will say that when I was first starting out as a writer, there was an agent who was interested in me. And again, I didn't know anyone in the publishing business. And I was living in LA. And this agent in New York said, "Oh, if you can get to New York, I'll take you out to lunch and I'll talk to you about your book." Well, I flew to New York City. So I had no guarantees of anything was going to happen, of course, except that I was going to get a nice lunch, okay, for $700 of flying back and forth, and the money would cost the time. But I did it. And in fact, that agent was, sorry, who is my wife and the mother of my child.
It was an investment well worth it.
That
That said,
said,
if you don't
it's highly
have,
unlikely.
we writers, are often working multiple jobs,
Yes.
families,
Yes.
all of these things. We totally understand if you want to wait until we have the show, and where we'll have multiple locations that might be closer to you.
Yeah.
And as David said, we're going to have the wild card. So for people who are unable to come to a location, that they will just be able to send in video once we have the show. So we are very cognizant of the financial lift that this takes, and we're
Yes.
trying to make it the best we possibly can.
But I will say this about that. Even the act of submitting, putting
Yes,
your pitch together, putting your bio together, doing your video, your 10 pages, it's going to make you better at doing all this.
yes, it really is. And someone also asked the question about, well, you might not even get to pitch if you go to the pilot, and that is true. Only 20 people are going to get to pitch.
No.
What we can tell you is we've been doing Pitchapaloozas for over 15 years all over the country, and everybody shows up and feels in their heart, this is only worth it if I get to pitch. Because in every Pitchapalooza, we only pick 20 people. And universally, when people
Yes.
leave,
Yes.
they say, this was
Oh my
one of the most
God.
educational
Yes, I learned so much.
and entertaining events. And we don't even usually have these amazing judges along with us when we do these Pitchapaloozas. So we feel that this will be a special day,
Yes.
and that you will get something out of it. But again, we totally understand if it's just not in the piggy bank right now. Okay, I am going to start. Those were all the questions that we addressed before.
Dee-dee-do.
Now we have, Christy has been sending
Oh my God.
lots of other questions. So, okay, so there are some international people. We do hope that the show will be sold to other countries as well. It will. David doesn't hope.
No.
It will be. So it's coming to New Zealand soon. And I'll tell you why it's coming to New Zealand, because that's on the top of my list for countries that I want to visit. So we have a friend there who we've wanted to visit forever.
And Estonia's next great author is in the pipeline for anybody who's in Estonia right now.
Exactly. Okay. So for the first 10 pages, is it okay if the submission cuts off? Absolutely.
Sure.
Are you consciously looking for diversity in terms of age, where people live, race, etc., as well as the excellence of writing? Yes, we are. That is part of the mission that we talked about. One of our most exciting pitchapaloozas we ever did was we were in rural Alaska, and we had libraries from tiny villages Skype in, and we heard some of the most amazing pitches ever, and we heard stories that we had never heard before. So we want to expose people to all different kinds of American stories that are out in the world. How are the applications looking?
Awesome. Like I said, every day, there's a batch more, and we look through them and we talk about. Just today, we were out in the garden going, "Oh, did you see that? Yeah, I saw that. Did you see this one? Yes." And there've been so many great pitches. I will say that.
Yes, absolutely. Can we submit book 1 in a series for the pilot? And if selected and moving forward, then write book 2 for the show?
Yeah.
Sure. Is there something to do differently in our pitches based on genre, outside of the other pitch advice already given? Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to proof of the pudding. You got to have some pudding. If you're writing a piece of comedy, a comedic novel, then you should present in a way that makes me laugh. Don't tell me it's funny. If you're doing a thriller, don't tell me it's thrilling. Present in a way that's like, well, oh my God, he did what? Oh, geez. If you're writing a romantic story, let's say it's a tragedy that terrible things happen and it's romantical. Don't tell me all of that. By the end of the pitch, present it in a way I'm like, oh my God, what? They can't be together. It's forbidden love. How can that be? Each of these genres has a different goal: to make my pulse pound, to make me cry, to make me laugh, to make my heart pitter pat, to make me want to travel to a foreign land and a wild adventure. And they have to be presented in a way that's appropriate to whatever you're trying to accomplish in that genre.
So I'll give an example. All the time we see pitches, let's say for literary fiction, and they read like book reports.
Yes. And they're presented like book reports.
So there's no literary style in the pitch itself. Literary fiction is all about the sentences, the writing.
And when you're presenting, it's about the rhythms.
Yeah.
That the person who's performing the piece they take the rhythms that are there and they accentuate them in a syncopated way sometimes that you're like, wow. So it reads and flows like something that's beautiful, if that's the intent.
Yep. So someone asked, can I use I statements in an author bio, or should it be third person? We don't care.
Okay.
We want it to be whatever feels more authentic to you. So, I would say David would probably be more likely to do an I bio, and I would be more likely to do a third person bio. So, that is, you can decide what you feel is a better bio for you.
I will say this: no matter what you're doing, show us that you have a passion for this thing.
Yeah.
I don't mean you go crazy and scream and yell, but something that's real and from the heart. So you got the brain, your heart, and the guts are all in there in various degrees.
Yeah. So someone asked what cities we are going to be doing the actual series in, and
we haven't decided
that. We don't know yet. That will happen after we sell the show.
But it probably won't be a New York, a San Francisco, or an LA. Not that we don't love, we've lived in all those cities and we love all of them. It's more likely to be do I say some cities or not?
No, because we really don't
No, we
know,
don't.
but I will say, we chose Newark because it has an incredible literary tradition. It even has a poet for a mayor. Um, but it's 20 minutes from the capital of publishing. Um, and yet it's not a city that you necessarily see a lot of major publishers drawing
It's
from.
20 minutes away from Manhattan, and yet it's a universe far, far away.
Exactly. Um, so I think we've answered
Is it
the
possible?
bulk uh, of the questions. If Christy, if there's anything I've missed, let me
And if there's
know.
anything that occurs to you guys, let us know.
Yeah, and we will continue even beyond the pilot. We will continue to update people via our newsletter. Well, we're again, we're creating community here, and we want to keep you guys abreast of what's going on with the show, and also hear from you. We love hearing from people and hearing how their projects are going.
By the way, I would like to say something. It's
Yes.
September 1st.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know about you, but the summer 2022, pardon me, it's almost over. And I'm just like
Yeah.
in mourning already. But more importantly, for this discussion, it means that there's 2 weeks left, basically, to apply because submissions close on September 15th for America's Next Great Author.
They do. So we want to thank you guys for getting on here, being part of this journey with us. This has been a dream for us for a really since we did our first Pitchapalooza, and someone said this should be a TV show. So
And here we are.
and here we are, and it's happening, and we're actually filming this pilot on September 30th. So
Yeah, it's exciting.
we're grateful to you all for participating, and
We can't wait to read your story.
we can't wait. Yeah. All right, everybody.
See you on TV.
See you on TV.